Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Sistas review, season 3, episode 7, entitled Protecting Myself. Y'all know how I do. If this is your first time coming to my YouTube channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment if that's what you're being led to. If not, just sit back and enjoy. Let's get into this thing. Jesus Christ. So Sabrina and Maurice. You know, we always open up where the previous episode left off. So I'm trying to figure out how Maurice started the scene off very well. Then he took a turn for the absolute worst. So first off, Sabrina says that Jacoby came on to her. He came to her house. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but you invited him to your house not once, but twice. The first one was when she invited him over for drinks. And the second one was for a booty call that she tried to downplay as if she didn't know what the hell that was going on. And for me, that should have been like a trigger warning before this episode came on. Me personally, I did not like how the rape allegation was just thrown around so loosely, as if it was something to play with, as if it was something to be joked about. I personally, felt bad for anybody, any woman or any man who has been sexually assaulted and raped. And I feel also equally as bad for anyone who has been accused of rape falsely. And it kind of hit a nerve with me because I know people in both situations, and, the one where, I knew someone close where, he served prison time for a crime he didn't even commit. He was messing with a white girl. The boyfriend walks in on them having sex, and she yells rape. He gets kicked out of college. It was just bad. That scene irked me. I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it humorous. It just I hated it, for lack of better words. I was disgusted. So anyway, this is one of the things that pissed me off and truly frustrates me about Sabrina's character. Sabrina do little shit. And then when something happens, she stands there in a state of confusion as if she doesn't understand why certain things are happening around her. Sabrina comes off as like, I don't know why would someone do this? I don't understand. And Sabrina, you understand. You understand quite well. You understand. I feel like, some people don't. Some people believe that Jacoby should have been fired. I'm one of the ones who don't believe. Now, like I stated in my last video, he is foul as hell and wrong as hell for accusing Sabrina of sexual harassment, because we know that did not happen. Now, he might have a suit on his hands for what is it called? For, I forget. I don't know if it's unjustified termination, or I forget what it's called. But I think he might have a case for that. But I don't like the fact that Jacoby is doing that. And I definitely don't like the fact that Maurice is urging Sabrina to go to the police and make up this, this falsified story of Jacoby raping her. I just think that's low as hell. I just can't vibe with that. But back to Sabrina. I'm like, Sabrina, you've done a lot of nasty shit. You have drug tested Calvin without his permission. You allowed Maurice to set up a situation where he invited his bisexual friend over to be around Calvin to see how Calvin responds to him. So you've done a lot of foul stuff in the midst of this. And so it just irks me that she comes off so innocent, as if she just doesn't know what the hell is going on. I like Sabrina. I love my sisters, but I just don't like that chick right now. I just don't like it. So to finish off their scene, Maurice was basically, I'm not even going to get into everything he was saying, but basically, Sabrina was telling him that, you know how I feel about darkness. That's not something that I can do. I'm not going to accuse him of that. Even though he's lying on me, I'm not going to lie on him. I was grateful because I do think at one point the heifer was considering to do that. I'm glad she didn't. I'm glad that she, isn't allowing Maurice to encourage her to actually move forward with those type of allegations. So Maurice basically asked her, did she want to go out to get a couple drinks? She let him know that she was going to be going out with the girls later on. But, you know, he was like, well, just come on. You know, you be closed. You got some hours to spare. Let's go get turned up, basically. So Andy and homeboy, his name ain't important right now. I don't know him, the lawyer guy. So I do understand what Tyler is trying to do, but not with this man. he doesn't possess what I believe that is convincing to allow us to feel like he's someone who can compete with Gary. Not just in like characteristics or not his personality or anything, but ain't nothing wrong with light-skinned men, trust me. That's my tea right there. But you have this man, he like goofy cute. He's not like that strong, debonair, cool type of dude that I think would capture Andy's attention. He's like the corny dude, the goofy dude that you see around, you know what I'm saying, the office, who's cute, but you would never give him any play. So the fact that Tyler has Andy and Fatima, which that's hell, Fatima did sleep with Hayden, so maybe. But it's unbelievable for me to feel like this is somebody that Andy would actually be attracted to sexually and give time to like that. So when Fatima comes in and she was basically asking Andy, you know, like, you okay? You good? Yeah, I'm good. She was like, Andy, your breasts are hard, your nipples are hard. And she was like, oh yeah, it's cold in here. Can you check on that for me? And she was like, yeah, I'll make sure they don't let him back in, since he's the reason why you feeling all hot and bothered. It's just so unbelievable to me that it's actually funny. It's actually funny that this is the dude that they chose to come in and cause like a jealousy thing, or to cause Andy to be attracted to him. I don't see it. I really don't see it. But I just feel like Andy flirts and give off sexual energy to every man that comes in her path. Every single man. And my thing is this, she's another one. You do stuff and then you act like you don't know why this stuff is happening. I feel like this. When that man told her, Robin is his name. I know his name. I was just being funny. When Robin told her that the only way he was going to talk to her is if they went out to dinner, that's when you put your foot down right there to let him know that you are about your business. And if we cannot conduct business within business hours, then you and I have no business, Robin. That's what I would have did. Because I'm like, well, girl, I didn't know that he was going. I don't care. Put that foot down. Let him know you about your business. You are a woman of standard and morale. And no, I'm not going out with you. He tried to do that little reverse psychology. I caught that BS. And look at our girl, Andy. She fell for it. I knew the heifer was going to fall for it. I said, she gets on my damn nerves. But, Lord Jesus. Hayden. So Hayden makes an unwanted and unwelcome appearance last night. After Fatima tells him that he needs to fall back on his compliments, he goes to his office and calls someone by the name of Dion to basically tell Zach that he wasn't needed at Chainbreakers right now due to the lack of houses. They didn't need that many people, which was a full-out lie. And you know what? And I did, when Zach picked up the phone and, the phone conversation, I really felt bad for Zach in that moment. Like, I really felt bad for Zach because he hasn't done anything to Hayden for Hayden to continually try to sabotage him financially. It baffles me. It's obvious that Fatima does not want Hayden. It was a one-time thing. They had sex. She said it was trash. It was weak. It wasn't for her. Move the hell along. Hayden acts like Fatima is the only woman who he can get some coochie from. It's disgusting what he does. He just does not let up. He just continues to include Zach in his little, game of cat and mouse when it's like, she doesn't want you, bruh. And if Zach is the man that she won't, let her be happy and be with that man. What is your problem? And he doesn't do like what a normal person would do. Like, what this man have that I don't, or whatever. He goes for the juggler. And like I said, I really felt bad for Zach in that moment because he has not done anything to warrant the type of mess that Hayden does to him on a consistent basis. It makes no sense. And I don't even understand why Fatima hasn't attempted to press charges on Hayden. You planted drugs in the man's truck. Like, how he just get off on that? I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense, but I'm all the way with Zach on that particular situation. Now, I know that Danny and Zach had a few scenes. And if you have been following me, you know I am not a big fan of Danny and Zach scenes. Number one, I think they have too much screen time for scenes that hold no purpose. I think that even in the moments, because I strongly dislike their scenes, because they're supposed to be funny and they're not funny. They may have one comical moment and then that's it. And then even as the scene is going on and it feels like, okay, when I thought Danny was being serious about, let me tell you something my grandma told me. And then it goes well for like a minute. And then it goes into this humored part that's not even funny. But the one thing I did like about the conversation is when Danny told him, the one thing that I do admire about you is that you keep going. You may get knocked down, but you get up and you keep going. And I did like that. But then it's like, it's negated by the fact that you called him an F up. You called his mess up like tumultuous. It was like the most horrible thing in the world he could have done. And I just think, they have an interesting dynamic. They really do. And somebody compared Danny and Zach and said that they were just like the relationship between Martin and Pam. And I'm like, you's a damn lie. And I'm offended that you said that. And don't you ever insult Martin and Pam like that ever again. I said, hold the hell on. Zach and Danny know this, but they would never be a Martin and Pam. Ever. I don't even know where that came from. But we gonna move along. So Fatima and Andy. So I got a question about this one. I was asked, do I think Andy is a better friend to Fatima than she is with Karen, Danny, and Sabrina? She seemed sincerely concerned about what was going on with Fatima and Zach. I'm gonna answer that. Before I get to that, I thought it was interesting, that Fatima has already, pulled the cards out on Andy. Like, you're attracted to this man. Nothing has happened yet, basically, but since they will, because I already see where this is going. And I like that. I do like that Fatima said that, because it's like, Andy, who you playing with? We all grown. Fatima definitely sees what's going on. It's only a matter of time before you jack up. But anyway, to answer this question, I don't think Andy couldn't care less about what's going on with Zach and Fatima. The only reason that she even took an interest is because Fatima was asking too many questions about Gary. If you go back and watch that scene, and she was asking Andy, was she going to tell Gary about, her going out with this guy? She was like, no, it's the wrong time, not now. Fatima was like, I think Fatima asked, what does that mean? And she was like, girl, sit down. What's going on with you? You see how quickly she changed that subject, because Andy's not trying to reveal too much. So no, I don't think that Andy is a better friend. I think Andy is a poor ass trash friend. She is not a good friend. Those women, Karen, Danny, Sabrina, and Fatima, to me, they are all better friends to Andy than she is to them. And to be quite honest with you, I don't even think that Andy views Fatima as a friend. I think that she believes Fatima is a good person. She's a cool person. But when you look at, if you go back, the dynamic between Andy and Fatima, they're only cool because Fatima has done what Andy has deemed necessary to protect her. When all that mess was going on with Gary, Fatima went in her office. She erased stuff on her computer. She pulled certain files and hid them. So Fatima was on it. Fatima was really a ride or die. But I don't think that Andy really considers her a friend. I really don't. And so when Fatima was explaining the whole situation about Zach, and she was like, this is going to be cool for you, because we're your girls. I said, Fatima, I really like you, sis, and I just think that you using that word a little too loosely, because I don't think that Andy feels the same way about you as you feel about her. That's just my assessment. I could be wrong, but that's my assessment. So when she talked about Zach and how when Zach came over, he went there a good minute and she was all on him, and Zach is a pleaser, and Zach had her shaking. I said, sis, I feel you, sis. I feel you. Fatima, if I ain't never felt you before, which I have, I feel you right now. I understand. I understand you wholeheartedly, sis. I know Zach done put that thing on you. He got you thinking about it all the time. Got your body responding. I feel you. That was a real moment for me. That was a real deal moment for me. I felt like me and Fatima, my fellow Virgo sister, was on the same page. And so she looked at Andy's face. Andy was like, good for you. Like, yeah, I heard this before. And Fatima was like, he did the same thing to her. I said, okay, so let's time out, Fatima. Okay, you've known Zach a couple weeks. So imagine you've known him a couple weeks and the things that he's done to your body and how he has made you feel. Now, imagine he was with Karen for 3 years. Sis, you shocked that she had the same experience as you with Zach sexually? Really? I was shocked about that. He did the same thing to her. What you think? You think you special? No, men like that. Let me tell you something. I was listening to something one day and they were talking about, they said hood nigga pipe. That's the verbiage they use for it. And so when you meet some dude, I don't like that because it's basically saying if you from the hood, you ain't got much to offer. That's how I took it. But that's just what they said, giving y'all some context. So they say a lot of men who you run into who may not have a job, who may not have a lot going for him, who may be, down on his luck. I don't even like using that because we can all do better and do something different. But they just don't have much to offer. When you meet men like that, normally, they have great sex. That was like the concept of it. And, back in my day, I've met a few of them. And I must say, yeah, I agree. I agree. But it's like, Fatima, I was blowed that she appeared to be shocked that Andy has heard this all before. And it's like, yeah, sis, he do the same thing to probably every woman that he's with. But they don't talk enough. They don't talk enough to kind of know each other's past to the point where they can see where the hurt has been. They can, and I understand that, but I would like to see that happen with Fatima and Zach. So Andy asked her, like, what do you want from Zach? And Fatima was like, she want to F him. And I was like, that's part of it, sis, but you ain't being honest. And so she was like, I would never tell him this, but, she was like, she just can't open up her heart. And if he F up, like, she can't deal with that. And I like that. I do like the fact that Fatima is vulnerable with Andy, even though I don't think Andy is 100% with her. She's not. I'm glad that Fatima does have an outlet because I can only imagine how uncomfortable that may be for her to be messing with somebody, the ex of someone who she know of Karen, but I'm glad she does have an outlet. And so Andy started talking about, well, you sound like how I was when I first, met Gary. Like I said, I'm not going to fall for this man because I knew he was married. But look, it wasn't long before he had my heart in his hand. I said, well, I hope it was his right hand because that wedding ring was still on that left. So I don't know what hand he had your heart in, baby girl. But I said, Fatima, run out this door. Don't you take not one piece of relationship or matters of the heart advice from Andy. She is literally the worst person on this show who you could take advice from at this moment. I just couldn't believe Fatima was sitting there soaking this mess in. I'm like, baby, get up, Fatima, get up and run, sis, get up and go. And so, speaking of Fatima, so Fatima called Zach, and she basically was apologizing for how she spoke to him earlier that morning. And, he was like, you don't have to apologize, I'm a F up, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, no, you're not. Don't say that. And, excuse me. And so he was like, just every time I try to get my life together, something always happen, whether it's jail, work, my life, things happen that basically that derails him or puts him back in a stuck place. And I could feel Zach on that. I really could. And I felt bad for him because he was being honest. Like, every time I try to do something, it backfires and basically, slaps me in the face. And so he brought up chain breakers. So she was like, well, what's going on with chain breakers? And he told her, they don't need me. It's too many men, so on and so forth. And so she was like, well, let me take care of it. And he was like, no, I don't need you to do nothing for me. I don't need another woman to do anything for me. But we see that Fatima does not listen, and she proceeds to call Hayden. I think she tells Zach to be at her house at 8 or 8:30, one of the two. And She calls Hayden basically, sweet talking him, which Hayden is stupid. Hayden is stupid. This woman just told you to fall back, and now all of a sudden, men, I'm not going to say all men are stupid, but some of y'all, when that head down there is heightened, rationale just go out the window. Because I'm thinking, how is it this woman just told you to fall back? She told you that sex with you was whack. And then now she's calling you to butter you up and tell you she wants you to come over, and you're not sensing anything. He's just dumb. He's just stupid. That's how Hayden is dumb. And so I said this is the second time that Zach has asked Fatima not to do something. And she ignores what he says, and she goes about it and do it anyway. And so I do find it interesting that a couple episodes ago, Fatima had the conversation with Andy regarding how men choose women who kind of like resemble their mother in their actions or in treatment. And I'm like, but Fatima, I need you to take a step back and look at this, sis. You're doing that. You're basically doing things that Zach should be handling himself. You're basically putting yourself in a position as a savior or his mom. Like, he doesn't need you to do that. Let him figure this stuff out on his own. He doesn't need you to do that. So I don't know how well Zach is going to take when he, as we saw in the preview, when he walks in and he see Hayden sitting there with Fatima. I think her heart is in the right place, but she doesn't allow Zach to be a man and take care of his own affairs. And I really do believe that's going to backfire on her, but we shall see. And so let's go to sticking with Fatima. I didn't think I was going to talk about Fatima this much, but sticking with Fatima, I think that Fatima and Zach do need to have a conversation because it's deeper than her just getting hurt. It's the fact that Fatima has been in this exact situation before. You got involved with someone, I don't believe who was over their ex, left you to marry the ex. And now you find yourself with someone who still has not truly let go of his ex all the way. There are still some things there, regardless of what he said. It was a lie. And if we be honest, I think we all know that. And I'm like, Fatima, I understand like protecting herself. And that's kind of where the episode title came from. And not just protecting yourself, but protecting yourself in truth, being honest. I mean, you have to be vulnerable to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to be with somebody and kind of like, them walls ain't going to go down at one time. But to start letting those things go down, you have to be honest. So it's deeper than that. Just, I don't want to get hurt. I know you don't. But there is a reason why this situation with Zach scares you. And Karen has a lot to do with it. So I really hope that we get to see that. Unfortunately, I don't know if we will. I had a lot of people ask me about the Half and the Have-Nots. Boo, I never watched one episode of it. But people are hurt and they concerned about how Sistas gonna go. So, but y'all know need to get on that later. Anyway, Karen and Pam. So they're at the shop. They're closed. They getting ready to leave for the day, doing their last little bit or whatever. And so this dude comes and he's knocking on the door. It looks creepy as hell. And I'm just like, he says nothing. Karen like, we closed. We closed, can't hear you, we done, we out, we closed. He just continued to knock on the door. And I was like, what is wrong with this man? So he finally puts the envelope underneath the door. So when Karen opens it up, nosy ass Pam, as we love to call her, was like, girl, you getting sold? So we go to a commercial break. So we didn't know what happened. Then we go to Danny and Preston. First of all, what in all the hell did Danny have on? That's number one. What did Danny have on? It looked like a possible curtain / old school pillow. I don't know what the hell that was, but it was interesting to say the least. I did not like this scene. Not because it wasn't a good scene. I didn't like this scene because I felt so bad for Preston. Oh God, I felt so bad for Preston. I'm like, you know what? Preston has done and he has put in so much to get so little. I understand that Danny may have her reservations. I understand that she may, be afraid of getting hurt. But I'm like, this man, other than the little stuff he did with the little ghosting thing, other than that, this man has not done anything to hurt you. He has shown you, in my personal opinion, from the very beginning, that he is there for you. He wants to get to know you. He wants to be with you. And now you on this tip where you need space. She's even sticking around at the airport. Don't want to go home. That's the reason why she was, in such a thing for her and Zach to go have lunch. Then she still stayed. Then she didn't want to go home. And I'm like, what is he doing that's bothering you so much? Where did this space come from? The need for space. You didn't need the need for space when he paid your rent for 3 months. So I'm trying to understand, like, Danny's mindset in this situation. You know, like, hell, you live in a small apartment and y'all live together. What did you think was going to happen? Like, I think they did that too soon. I think I said that before, but I just felt like, you know, he was himself. How was your day? How are you doing? She didn't even ask him how his was. He was like, oh, yeah, mine was fine. And she was just like, basically, because I know what you did today. I know she talked about the cow name. She did all of this stuff. It was basically saying, like, you do the same thing every day. That's how I took it. You do the same thing every day. Preston, there's nothing interesting about your life. You're going to tell me the same thing tomorrow that you did. I just think, I'm like, she was rude as hell and mad disrespectful. And he kind of looking like, you know, he didn't say anything, but it was obvious that, judging by his facial expressions, that he did feel some kind of way about the way that Danny was acting towards him. So I just felt so bad. But I do find it interesting when, cause somebody asked me something, I forgot the question, but they asked me something in comparison to Danny and Karen. And I said, well, it interests me that, you know, Karen get all this flack. We clearly see the disrespect that Danny does, and she may get, oh, Danny gonna lose him. We may get those small little things, but we don't get that same, Danny does not get that same type of energy that Karen did when it came to Zach. I think people enjoy Preston, but they don't like Preston like they like Zach. So I think that's the difference for me that I can see. But I'm like, yeah, Danny was mad disrespectful. And if I was Preston, I would bounce. Keep them 3 months. You good, sis. But I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I think, like I said, haven't even invested too much time in each other. Just leave. Find you somebody who going to treat you right. I think that, and I do feel for men at times, because I'm not getting on us women, but I'm just gonna tell y'all what I see. Sometimes, because I think the man is a prize too. I think we are prizes. I think men are prizes as well, especially when you find a good one. And I do know that there are times we can allow our insecurities and our past to come up in our present and hinder us from having something great. And to me, Preston is someone great. He's definitely someone great, but I feel like sometimes men do too much and they accept the foul treatment that women give because you just love her so much, or you like her so much, or you can't see your life without her. Let me tell you something. The same way a woman deserves to be treated beautifully, you deserve to be treated well also. You deserve to be asked, baby, how your day? What you got a taste for? You want something to eat? How about I'm going to plan a date night for us? You ain't even got to do nothing. Just show up. I think that men need that too. I'm that type of person. I'm that type of woman. Like, I don't want all the attention. Let me shower you. Let me show you how much I appreciate you, how much I love you, how much, you know, I look at the small things that you do. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it should be an even kill with that. But so we get to this preview. I'm sorry, the last scene was the scene everybody was looking for, which was Fatima hearing the sex noises coming out of Andy's bedroom. So she calls Andy, you know, she listening, and it's mad loud. It sounds, now Tyler, I don't even have no expectations anymore. It's too loud to be a TV, and it's too loud to be a phone. I said he was watching porn. Tyler still might make it that he's watching porn, because based on the preview, Andy was not upset. You know, she busted in the door. Then the next time we see her and Gary sitting on the couch, and she still goes out with the girls. So I'm like, okay, you know, it is what it is. That was the episode. There was a club scene with Sabrina and what's his name, Maurice. We found out, you know, that Maurice got kicked out when he was 14. His mom is this Bible thumping Christian who hates him, and you know, which is sad because that is heavy in the Black community when it comes to, you know, disowning your children because they're gay, which I would never understand that. But, you know, that is something. You don't have to agree with somebody's beliefs or their life choices, but to shun away, you know, your child for, you know, living this type of lifestyle, I don't agree with that. But, you know, to each his own. I I don't know. This episode it felt like it was missing something. Like, it felt like it was a lot going on, but really nothing happened. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. You know, that's how I felt. We trying to figure out, well, where the hell is Aaron? It's almost been a whole 24 hours. Karen ain't heard from you. Where you at? Where you been? Where you snuck off to? We need to know that at next episode. Tyler, don't play with us. Don't play with us. So, somebody asked me about the have and the have-nots. Excuse me. And like I stated, I do not, and I have not watched one episode of that show. I know that people were upset. I know that people were, I should put a screenshot of my inbox. Like, I don't watch the show. I don't have any opinion about it. I'm not even shocked about it. You know, my mom watches it and she was mad and everything. And, you know, I'm like, I just think, you know, and people, I don't care. Tyler is a lazy ass writer. Okay. I don't care who got something to say about it. You support Tyler. That's good. Obviously, I support him too because I watch and review Sistas. But I think that, you know, the part that pissed me off seeing everybody's response is that I think you owe it to the people who support you to give them your best. If you're not in the mood, don't do it. Like, I wouldn't come. Now, I am tired, okay? I am tired today. But it's like, I'm not finna get on here and do this video or this audio, you know, hoping that you guys would invest the 30 plus minutes that this video is going to be, and I give you BS. I think that's foul. I think that is horrible for any type of artist or talent or creator to do that to the people who supporting them. I think that's horrible, and I would never do that. Like, if I can't give people my best, I don't want to do it, and that's just how I am. And I think that Tyler, he killed off, I don't know, I know one person survived, but he basically killed off the whole cast. And it's like, and you think that was good writing? You think that was the way to end the story? No. So I was saying people was messaging me and was like, they concerned about Sistas because they think it's the last good show he got left and they don't know what he's going to do with the characters. And my thing is, sis, bro, I don't know what to tell you because I don't know what he's going to do either. I have no expectation when it comes to Tyler's writing. I have no expectation when it comes to the direction that Tyler is going to take this show. You know, I do my reviews. I give my opinions or what I think is going to happen. But at the end of the day, we don't know what goes on in Tyler's mind. But from what we can see, he got some toxic shit in there. I don't even know if Tyler's a very happy person. You know what I'm saying? Just based off how he do stuff. He killed people too much. Something ain't right. Something is not right. But I don't know. To all y'all have and have not fans who listen to my review, I'm sorry that you guys experienced that. I'm sorry that you were disappointed and angry and you have invested 8 years into that show to get the ending that you got. I feel for you. Trust me. But I don't watch the show. So you ain't got to send me no questions because I don't know nobody on that show. Okay? But I just had to put that out there because I won't believe. Whew. All right. So listen, I'm on vacation, right? But I'm going to be doing some videos and I did talk about how I was going to do a video answering questions. So I'm going to do a few of those. So if you have a question or something you want me to talk about specifically when it comes to Sistas, to a certain character, a situation, whatever, you can email me. You can reach out to me on social media. All of that stuff is listed in the description box. I thank you guys for listening. These 34 minutes coming up. And y'all have a good day. Let me know y'all thoughts. What y'all thought about the episode. Like I said, I felt like something was missing. It just wasn't it felt empty to me. But I will holler at y'all later. Until next time.